Yaroslav Askarov. That's it. That's the cold open.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at The Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network, the number one sports podcast network out there. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts. Of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And Yaroslav Askarov, that's it. Show's over. No, Askarov, we're going to be talking about Askarov as he continues to put together one of the most dominant stretches of goaltending I think we have seen in San Jose in a long time. As the Sharks win 3-1 over the Boston Bruins. We're going to be talking about the third line, which I think tonight was the difference maker for San Jose. Special teams coming together and dig into the numbers of this game as, again, the Sharks beat the Boston Bruins 3-1. Now 1 point, or I guess they're technically tied for a playoff spot, but point percentage. Anyway, before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com, and you'll win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Yaroslav Askarov. That is where we have to start because Askarov continues to be one of, if not the main storyline for the San Jose Sharks, continuing his brilliant play that we have seen all month long now. He, again, tonight, 34 saves on 35 shots with some absolute brilliance. The save he makes on David Pastrnak, just flat out robbing one of the best goal scorers of this generation with Pastrnak, and just like not today. One, also, before we continue, we're gonna get the Askarov shutout at some point. It's coming. We keep getting there. It is so frustrating because I want this man to get his shutout because he has been more than deserving. We're gonna get it soon. We are gonna get it soon. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. We're gonna get it soon. But anyway, back to Askarov and his performance tonight. Just an absolute dominant. Again, putting the team on his back whenever they needed him in all situations tonight. One goal allowed. 3.79 expected goals against, 971 save percentage, 6 of 6 high danger, 6 of 7 mid danger, and 19 of 19 low danger. And the one that got scored, you felt that one coming, and Mukhamadullin kind of just a small mental lapse there on Mukhamadullin, who otherwise had a really good night tonight. But the way, though, Askarov is playing since the start of November, he has the second highest save percentage in the NHL, with only Jesper Wallstedt higher than his save percentage. Right now, 970 for Wallstedt, who has 3 shutouts in that time. Askarov at 955, who does not have a shutout and has also played in 8 games compared to Wallstedt's 5. Those are the 2 highest save percentages for the month of November. It has been an absolute lights out performance from Askarov. And a big reason why the Sharks are winning these games this year, the games that we saw them lose a bunch last year, right? Of these, how often did the Sharks go into a third period last year, hope to hold on, end up blowing a game because the Sharks couldn't get a save, and then this year, right? Askarov just making big saves at big times, and just does not look rattled. Everything looks easy to him right now. Just an absolute insane performance for not only tonight, but just what we've seen from Askarov all month long. Again, he's not going to be at a 960 save percentage for the rest of the year, but like you feel with him, you got a chance every night. No matter how the offense is playing, you feel like you have a chance to win a game that maybe you don't deserve. And I think the Sharks more than deserve tonight's game. But you, with Askarov and net, just that confidence that you have that no matter what, you feel like you got a chance. And the way he is playing right now, I don't know if there's anybody in the NHL who's playing better than him. I think given the circumstances, right, I think it's fair to say the Wild are, thought to be a better team going into this season, and the way that Askarov's been playing behind this defense, which is definitely improved, but they still have some leaky moments. And I think you also got to throw Spencer Knight in there too, who's been a big reason for the Blackhawks surprise start this year as well. So just amazing. It's so nice to have great goaltending again. Just so nice to come and just almost like come to expect it now. It's like I don't want to take it for granted. Like, do not take it for granted, because all we have to do is just look back to last year, right? And when it felt like you had to get at least 4 to have a chance to win, right? It feels like if you get 2, Askarov's probably going to stop. Askarov's going to put you in a good position to win a game. So the other takeaway tonight, and Celebrini was awesome, and we'll talk about the starters and stuff like that, but I want to start with the third line after Askarov, who the third line tonight was just everywhere. So Collin Graf, Dellandrea, Adam Gaudette. And we talked yesterday about how Dellandrea has seen his stock, rise so much from this offseason to where he's at right now. Like, just a player who has really come into his own and really found his role and is playing with a ton of confidence. And you saw it tonight, right? That the penalty that he draws, where he is trying, goes through the legs, tries to make a move, and almost completes the pass over. I don't know who was with him, if it was Gaudette or Graf on his wing there, but just this line continued. This line drew 3 penalties tonight, right? The Dellandrea one there, Collin Graf draws 2, right? He draws a tripping one, and then he draws one behind the net, just from grinding out and hard work there. It's been so long since the Sharks had not only a competent third line, but a good third line. And you would maybe like to see a little bit more scoring here and there, but this line is really taking on that role, is that identity role. They're going to go out. It's a great combination of skill, because you do see goals. Like Gaudette's got, has scored a bunch. I know Graf got the empty netter tonight. But you see the combination of skill and then hustle and grit and grind. And just this line has really helped this Sharks team, I think, take on this, during this recent play. I think this third line has been a huge reason for it, that you're not just waiting for Eklund and Celebrini and Smith and the top guys to get back on the ice. You feel confident that these guys are going to set up Eklund and Celebrini and Smith and Wennberg and the rest of the group to come out and do good things, and they're not going to have to spend so much time in their own zone. And just it's so great to see a competent third line for San Jose after the years that we have, your Noah Gregor's, poor Noah Gregor, even last year, right, where your Luke Cunnins and having to see Barclay Goodrow up on playing up on the third line. And the fourth line tonight was excellent as well. Goodrow was the player of the game for the Sharks. Goodrow was making positive impacts. Almost had another goal tonight, and was great on the penalty kill as well. Right, Ryan Reeves, who I was wrong on Ryan Reeves. I will be the first to admit I was wrong on Ryan Reeves. And Reeves, again, just making a positive impact for the Sharks. And, Ostapchuk being physical out there, just this bottom six was, a big reason why the Sharks won tonight, especially after how the team got outplayed against Ottawa. To come in and make a statement against this Boston Bruins team, this was a big time win for the Sharks, and especially after yesterday's performance. And now they get a couple days off before they head to Colorado. So we got to feel really great about where this team is heading. So we're going to talk about the special teams here. As the Sharks power play, there were some changes, and I think you saw them ready to break out after tonight. I think we're going to have a big time breakout from the power play coming up, and the penalty kill continuing to be outstanding. So we'll discuss special teams here in just 1 second. If you want to get to the tank, because why would you not want to be at the tank right now to go see the Sharks? I know getting tickets can be a total headache sometimes, between waiting in queues, surprise fees, prices that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. We use Game Time because we're going to a Sharks game here around the Christmas time, as we do, let's say, a family tradition that we go to a Sharks game right around the holidays. And Game Time made it super easy. Their zone deals are a total game changer. You pick the section, Game Time picks out your seats, and you save big. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Let's go to Locked On NHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. All right, before we continue, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Again, proudly part of the Locked On Network, the #1 sports podcast network out there. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe, as we got a big time interview in the can that'll be coming out tomorrow. A prominent Barracuda player is all I'm going to say. So we'll be talking with them. Of course, we've got reactions after every Sharks game. We'll be talking about prospects this week as well. Plenty of great stuff coming up here at Locked On Sharks, wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. So this power play, new look tonight, right? Especially with John Klingberg out, Orlov running the power play. We had Smith down on the second line, the second unit, and then Toffoli. So we had Toffoli, Wennberg, Eklund, Celebrini, and Orlov. And while the power play went 1 for 6, which is, you want to see maybe a little bit more efficiency there. You felt like tonight, and this is a very good Bruins penalty kill, which I think coming into tonight was ranked they were top 10. I know for sure. But a very good PK unit. And you saw them just let it rip a little bit more, which as weird as that sounds, just be this team can definitely be very much a little too cute sometimes. So the Bruins, let's see, sorry, the PK was so they're at 11 right now. So still very good, upper half team, right? But you saw much crisper passing, more just get shots on net, which I think is a big thing that sometimes this team falls into, of just trying to be a little bit too cute, trying to do a little bit too much here and there. But this team on the power play, I thought really looked good, and especially the 5-on-3 for sure, right? You get a minute 50 of 5-on-3 there, and yes, you don't score there, and sometimes you just got to tip your hat. Swayman was absolutely outstanding during that opportunity. So, but for San Jose, right? you have so many weapons, especially with Celebrini and, even with Smith's up there, or if he's not, but then with Wennberg doing, being so great in the front of the net, and Toffoli, who I know is a little bit cold right now, but we know Toffoli can get hot in any minute, and Eklund, who's also a little bit cold right now and can also get hot here soon. It just felt like it was much more smooth and natural tonight compared to some of the stuff, like some of the play that we have seen before. And I just feel like it's coming. This like, we're gonna get like 5 out of, like they're gonna go on a run of like 5 power play goals and like 12 opportunities or something like that. Just like a really nice run for this unit over like a week or two, where I think you're gonna see this power play start to click more and more, and especially with Orlov up top, who, as we talked about, just feels like a little bit more of a natural point guard when it comes. And I do like in the big time moments, especially like that 5-on-3, where Warsofsky's like, screw it, we're just going to play the 5. We're going to play our 5 best players. And if they're not a defenseman, who cares? Because this is a big time moment, and we want to try to take advantage here. And I love that aggressiveness from Warsofsky of just, let's just play our 5 best players, and they're too talented and they're too good that they're not going to figure it out. And they almost did on the 5-on-3 there. They had plenty of great opportunities. And again, Swayman was really good tonight. Like Swayman was very good tonight for the Bruins. And when it comes to the PK, right, I think they've figured out their forward groups, which really help, and the defensive groups too, right? Getting Desharnais and Desharnais and Mukhamadullin out there, who are bigger body guys, right? Who can kind of help clear the net and do a much better job of that compared to some of the other defensemen on the roster. And then you can let a guy like Ferraro be a little bit more aggressive rovery, right? Where one defenseman, stays back, whether it's Mukhamadullin or Desharnais, and then Ferraro can continue to be aggressive and almost act like a third forward in those opportunities, right? But Dellandrea, who we just talked about his praise, right, and Collin Graf, like 2 excellent penalty killers. Goudreau, who's been doing an excellent job on the PK, and then you can get Wennberg out there as well, who's been saved a goal tonight, playing, basically coming back and playing defense for San Jose. Like I think they've really honed in on their forward group here on the PK. That's really helped, and they've also been able to kind of figure out who's playing with who and what everyone is supposed to do. And I think that's why we've seen of course, Askarov just playing like crazy with, goes a long way with it too. But I do think that they have figured out something that's working right now for them, with both their defensive pairs and with their forward pairs out there, and especially with Graf and Dellandrea, like the chemistry that those two are building. You're probably going to hopefully start to see a little bit more shorthanded opportunities with them, right? And especially Dellandrea, who's really found an extra gear this year with his speed. And with Graf, right, you just see how smart he is, and that's stick or that poke stick lift on Pasternak, right, where he just comes from behind, pops it up, and then takes the puck away from him, just smooth right there. He's such a smart player, The Sharks. I'm very excited to see Collin Graf's next contract, because he's going to be worth whatever they pay him. I think he's going to be worth it, because he's just like that. Whatever you need me to do, coach, I'm going to go out. I'm going to give it 110%, and I'm going to be very good at it. So great performance from San Jose. We're going to dig into the numbers here in a second. Talk about how the Sharks still having those second period woes that we saw, but they were able to hang in there and kind of take advantage of their opportunities. And of course, we'll talk about all the players and all the lines and stuff like that. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can also combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, before we finish up, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night, until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Okay, your San Jose Sharks. Again, we saw some of the same issues in the second period that we have seen from this team as of late. And I think we at some point we might have to kind of dig into that a little bit more. But again, we're going to take the win tonight because it was a good win against a very good team. And, you know, let's enjoy the win. So, but 45 minutes of 5-on-5, 54-30 shot attempts in favor of the Bruins, 64.29 to 35.71 Corsi for the Bruins, of course. Actual shots on goal, 25-19. So while the Bruins took more shot attempts, it was a much closer ratio when it came to actual shots on goal. So again, the Sharks kind of taking advantage of their opportunities. 21-8 scoring chances in favor of the Bruins, 9-5 high danger chances in favor of the Bruins, 2.6 to 1.09 expected goals for in favor of the Bruins. The Sharks had 1 goal for, and the Bruins 1 goal for at 5-on-5. Again, the second period, right? 23-9 shot attempts, and this is you're up 1, and then you get up by the second one, or kind of midway through the second period there for San Jose. But you would like to see a little bit more response from the Sharks, right? Where you're not just kind of getting pushed around, and especially with the way the Sharks ended the first period, right? They get the goal and then they really start to push, and the beginning of the second period is basically just all Bruins after that. So would like to see them, I think there's going to be the next kind of issue to work on is playing well into the second period. But again, we're going to take the win. Going to enjoy the win. So as for the lines tonight, Celebrini, so we have the super line of Eklund, Celebrini, and Smith. They played 10-28, 12-15 shot attempts, but 7-3 actual shots, 0.64 to 0.76 expected goals for, 4-6 scoring chances, 4-4 high danger chances. So you saw this line continue, we'll get put together here. Eklund continuing to do a lot of positive things here, and he is going to have a scoring bonanza here. And he got an assist tonight on the Graf empty netter. Eklund missing an empty net again. I was just thinking back to if he misses empty net and they go down and tie it, we're doing this again. But Eklund's doing a lot of positive things, and I think you're going to see that scoring come through really soon with him, especially if he plays with this top line. But, right, Eklund kind of doing a little bit of the dirty work there, especially behind the net. Celebrini continues to be ridiculous. 14 goals now on the season. He's got a goal and assist tonight. I think I saw a graphic on the post-game show where he's on pace for 50 goals this year, which would be just ridiculous for Celebrini. Smith continues to just have positive nights, and I thought Smith was positive again tonight, right? Just curious. I think this line going next game against the McKinnon line is going to be absolute, so much fun. Very excited about that. Graf, Dellandrea, Gaudette played 833, 4-6 shot attempts, 3-3 actual shots, 0.04 to 0.07 expected goals for, one scoring chance allowed. But, I talked a bunch about them in the first segment, like just really love the way that this line is constructed and how they're playing right now. And I think they're going to give the Sharks opportunities, and they're going to set up their teammates for opportunities here. So yes, like do not break that line up right now. Kurashev, Wennberg, Toffoli played 652, 4-7 shot attempts, 3-4 actual shots, 0.03 to 0.18 expected goals for, 0-3 scoring chances, 0-0 high danger chances. Kurashev, I thought, was a little quiet tonight. Like I said, Wennberg has saved a goal there at some point, and it was so good defensively, responsible player, and has been a big part of the power play and that net front presence. And was his screen there was perfect timing with Celebrini is taking his shot. And then Toffoli, again, I feel like the Toffoli breakout is going to be coming here soon too. So. And then, like I said, Goodrow, Stop Check Reeves, 646, 3-6 shot attempts, 1-5 actual shots, 0.16 to 0.52 expected goals, 2-4 scoring chances, 1-2 high danger chances for that line. They just continue to make a positive impact. Sometimes you're going to you're going to get hemmed in your own zone. Sometimes with these guys, I think that's kind of the Warsofsky has to play, right? Of these guys do make a positive impact, but sometimes they're going to get stuck in their own zone, and it's that kind of game you have to play with them. But overall, though, this all four lines tonight, I thought were making positive impacts. So for our Mukhamadullin, 46-88 as a defensive pair, Corsi 4. Mukhamadullin, I'm so happy he got the goal tonight. Good for him. Maybe now TJ Oshie can learn his name, but we'll see. And then, even Warsofsky after the game said Dickinson and Mukhamadullin played their best games tonight. So hopefully they can stay in the lineup here. We'll see. I think the Sharks need to make a decision with their defense, and now with Iorio back from his conditioning stint, the Sharks are going to need to make a decision here. So Dickinson, Desharnais, they were second, 41.67% for them. Corsi 4, just nice and steady pairing, and then Dickinson, I thought made some really nice play, some really nice splash plays tonight. And, he's going to have his mistakes here and there, but I thought overall Dickinson, was a pretty solid game for him. Orlov, Liljegren, 23%, Corsi 4. Orlov with a big, I do even despite the Corsi tonight from them, I think Orlov had a really good game. He had that big hip check, right there at the end of the first period. He was making some big time plays, was all over, physical tonight from Orlov. And I think, as I've talked about before, I think Orlov's made a massive impact on this blue line. And I think his play is a big reason why you've seen this Sharks defense start to kind of figure things out here. So overall, though, big win. The Sharks tied for the last wild card spot, behind points percentage wise, but tied for the last wild card spot. And you got a big test against a very good, insanely good Colorado team that has won 9 straight games right now. Oh my goodness. As weird as it sounds, 37 points, I feel like they should have more points for some reason. I feel like it should be in the 50s, or even though they've only played 22 games, it feels like Colorado should have 50 points already. But yeah, I mean, right, is something I've not been able to talk about on this show before, but we're at the standings. The Ducks are at 29 points in the West, or in the Pacific. The Kraken are at 28. Vegas is at 27. The Kings are at 26. San Jose and Edmonton are both at 25, but the Sharks have played one less game. And then you have the Canucks and the Flames at 20 and 19, and then the Preds, who are absolute butt. I'm looking at the wild cards right now, but there's a chance the Sharks could, I mean, we're in the thick of it, which is something I don't think any of us like legitimately thought like this time that the Sharks would be in it, especially after the start of the season, right? So we're just gonna keep riding this train as long as it lasts right now, and as long as Askarov continues to save our bacon. So we'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, we got a big time interview with a very prominent Barracuda player. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until tomorrow. Bye, friends.